Good evening, everyone, and welcome to one of the great nights on the Army Athletics and United States Military Academy calendar each and every year. Tonight, we induct the 18th class into the Army Sports Hall of Fame. How about that? My name's Rich DeMarco. I'll be your MC for tonight, and I am so lucky, so fortunate, not only to be around the amazing cadets each and every day, but then to see their great careers and then really coming full circle with the Hall of Fame induction and a tremendous class of 2022 here for you tonight. Well, here to begin tonight's festivities with the sing of our national anthem, I'd like to welcome Sergeant Major Mary Kay Messenger from the United States Military Academy Band.
So I want to hear everyone loud and strong. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Great job, Mary Kay, as always, delivering our national anthem. Now I'd like to introduce Chaplain Captain Promotable David Reyes, West Point class of 2003, to offer this evening's invocation.
Please join me in a word of prayer. Father God, tonight I give you thanks for these Hall of Fame inductees, those here in person and in spirit. Thank you for blessing them with the ability to pursue the spirit of competition and to teach others to do the same. In doing so, they carried out your words in 1 Corinthians that says, "Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but only one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may win." Lord, may your favor continue to rest upon them and upon everyone in attendance. May tonight's meal nourish our bodies, and may our conversations nourish our spirits. In the name of the great friend and master of all, amen.
Thank you. Well, as always, as with every Hall of Fame banquet, joined by many special individuals this evening, but no more distinguished than the members of our current leadership team here at West Point. Let's give a warm welcome to the 61st Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Lieutenant General Steve Gilland, the Commandant of Cadets, Brigadier General Mark Quander, Dean of the Academic Board, Brigadier General Shane Reeves and his wife Kimberly, and of course, Director of Athletics here at West Point, Mr. Mike Buddy, and his wife Tracy. Would also like to extend a special welcome to all our distinguished visitors, family members here tonight, as well as several current members of the Army Sports Hall of Fame joining us this evening. Hope I don't forget everyone from the class of 1983, inducted just last year, Cardell Williams, welcome here tonight. From the class of 1981, inducted in 2015, Michael Fonestock. From the class of 1965, Rolly Stitchway. He was inducted in 2012. From the class of 1990, Diana Wills. She was inducted in 2004. From the class of 1970, Gary Steele, who was inducted in 2013. From the class of 1978, Jose Olivero. He became a member of the Army Sports Hall of Fame in 2008. From the class of 1994, Jason Stewart, who was inducted in 2017. And from the class of 1995, Michael Bernstein, who is a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2019. And finally, a fixture around Army athletics for more than 55 years, Maddie Salvani, who is a member of the 2018 Army Sports Hall of Fame class. And now I'd like to welcome at his first Hall of Fame banquet as superintendent, Lieutenant General Steve Gilland.
All right, how we all doing out there? Clearly, I have to move quicker, it appears like. All right. Folks, it is an honor to be here tonight with you all. And I tell you, when we look around and we see the folks that are out there, and I'll be honest, I can't see anything because of these lights. That maybe because I've got glasses on, they're like it's doubling up the refraction on me or something like that. But to have everyone here, and so as we talk about the Hall of Fame, and I absolutely realize that I am the one person between you and dinner, okay? So I will be very brief. First of all, to our Hall of Fame inductees and your families that are here with us tonight, congratulations. What an awesome honor it is to have you all here. When I came in and I looked around, and you talk about the family, friends, the people that grew up underneath the shadows of our respective our inductees, you talk about inspiration. And inspiration is one of the things that I've kind of put a tag on here at the United States Military Academy as I've come into this position. We educate, train, and inspire. And we educate incredibly well, as evidenced by our scholars in the United States Military Academy. We train pretty darn well also. It's about inspiring. And when you look at the lineup that we have here, this is about inspiration. And it's not just inspiration amongst, seeing people that are inducted, which is inspiring. You are inspiring not only this generation, but our younger generations also. And that falls in line with what I've been trying to promote here for the past couple months, and that we all have the opportunity to inspire each other. And regardless of age, regardless of where you're from, we can do it. These young people here, our cadets, young men and women, they inspire me every day. Actually, they inspire me a little too much because I still think that I'm 20 years old in many ways. And my wife reminds me quite often I am not 20 years old. But having said that, I also believe it allows us, as we have an opportunity to engage, to inspire them also. So I'm not going to call it a campaign of inspiration or anything like that, but since it is in our mission statement, I'm putting a little bit of emphasis on it and capitalizing the inspire aspect of what we do here, all right? So I need everybody's help in doing that. And I would tell you, and it starts right here when we see this lineup of folks, inspiration, it comes first and foremost. Last thing, I got to give a shout out to my class of 90 peeps that are over here. Yeah, there's a few of you out there. One of them is a Hall of Fame inductee, all right? So, which is awesome. I'm inspired by it, and I'm just honored to be able to stand up here. And then also, I do want to recognize General Sam Lessie, ma'am, right over here. General Sam Lessie, class of 1945. All right. If that's not inspiration, then you all need to go check your stuff, all right? Because that's inspiration. Sir, thanks for being here. Thanks for everything that you do. And it is an honor to be associated with you every single time that I meet you. Have a great night tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you. Go Army.
Thank you, General. And you heard him say he was between everyone and dinner. So I'll officially say let's break for dinner. We'll be back in a little bit with the remainder of our program. I hope everyone enjoyed dinner, and what a great night. So much fun, so many familiar faces. I know we mentioned Hall of Famers who are here. There's at least one that we missed. So let's welcome back from the class of 1985, Army Sports Hall of Fame class of 2012, Mary List here with us. Mary, how could I forget? At this time, I'd like to invite General Gilland, as well as Army's Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Mike Buddy, to the front of the stage area to assist in our special presentations for the Army Sports Hall of Fame class of 2022. First up, a coach who is synonymous with success for Army West Point, cross country, and track and field. Army Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Ron Wilfred Basil, head coach, track and field, cross country. Ron Basil won more than 300 dual meets while serving 16 years as the head coach of the Army men's and women's cross country and track and field teams. Basil's teams captured 15 conference championships across cross country, indoor track and field, and outdoor track and field. During his tenure, Basil coached 138 all-conference performers, 21 All-Americans, and 6 NCAA championship participants. Ronald Wilfred Basil, head coach, cross country, track and field. Congratulations, Ron Basil. I know many of his former cadet athletes here tonight, and congratulations, Ron, to you and your family. Next up, let's watch the video for one of Army's best ever on the soccer field. Army Sports Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 1975, Philip Randolph Nelson, soccer, lacrosse. Randy Nelson put together one of the greatest careers in Army soccer history, accumulating 93 career points, including 37 goals and 19 assists between 1971 and 1974. During his first E campaign, Nelson authored one of the top individual seasons in program history, scoring 15 goals and registering 37 points. In addition to his success on the pitch, Nelson also lettered twice in lacrosse. From the class of 1975, Philip Randolph Nelson, soccer, lacrosse. Randy Nelson. Congratulations, Randy. Our next inductee, a first-team All-American for Army football on the gridiron. Army Sports Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 1986, Donald Eugene Smith, football. Don Smith was an integral part of Army's first 2 bowl teams in 1984 and 1985, while anchoring the offensive line as the Black Knights won the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy in 1984. The next year, Smith served as team captain and was named Army's first-team All-American in 17 years as the Black Knights won 9 games. Smith received the Army Athletic Association Award as well as an NCAA postgraduate scholarship. From the class of 1986, Donald Eugene Smith, football. Don Smith. Bowl games have become common for Army in recent years. Don was a big part of Army's first 2 ever bowl games. Congratulations, Don, to you and your family, and a tremendous honor. We're talking about a lot of best ofs tonight, and you talk about those who have entered the pool at West Point. Let's watch the video for one of the absolute best ever. Army Sports Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 1954, Peter Franz Witteried, swimming and diving. Peter Witteried was named an All-American 7 times in a career which spanned from 1950 to 1954, picking up All-American honors in the 100-yard backstroke in 1952, 1953, and 1954, the 200-yard backstroke in 1953 and 1954, the 300-yard medley relay in 1953, and the 150-yard individual medley relay in 1954. After graduation from West Point, Witteried served 30 years as an artillery officer, including a tour in Vietnam as a battalion commander, and retired as a colonel. From the class of 1954, Peter Franz Witteried, swimming and diving. Representing Peter Witteried, his daughter and son-in-law, Leslie and Matt Late. So many All-Americans. What event didn't he achieve All-America status in? Congratulations again, Leslie, to you and your family. Last but not least, our 5th inductee of the night, and when you think about great performances and great moments, he delivered it at the NCAA Wrestling Championships. Let's watch the video. Army Sports Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 2002, Anthony Maurice Worthy, wrestling. Maurice Worthy was the national runner-up in the 174-pound weight class with 4 wins at the 2001 NCAA Championships, to cap off a season in which he posted a 34-1 record and was named EIWA Wrestler of the Year after winning its 174-pound title. Over 4 years, Worthy made 3 trips to the EIWA and NCAA Championships, capturing 12 EIWA wins and 7 NCAA victories, and finished his career with a 99-12 overall record. From the class of 2002, Anthony Maurice Worthy, wrestling. Maurice Worthy. Congratulations, Maurice. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause? The Army Sports Hall of Fame class of 2022. What a special group. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to welcome Don Smith, who will deliver the class acceptance speech.
Wow. So it all started for us with one simple command. New cadet, step up to the white line and report to the cadet in the red sash. Who remembers that? Yeah. So 40 years ago, I came to this place, 17-year-old hayseed from the Midwest. didn't have an idea of what I was getting myself into. That day was a bit of a blur. From that first challenge, we've all been taught to step up to the white line and compete on the starting blocks in the pool, at the start line on the track, at midfield in the soccer stadium, in the center circle in the wrestling ring, and yes, on the 50-yard line of Mikey Stadium. General Gilland, distinguished guests, thank you for this opportunity. It is such a great honor to be here, to be recognized by the Academy and our fellow athletes. There are 5 moments in my life that are burned into my soul. Number 1, standing on the line outside the 1st Sergeant Barracks in Beast Barracks. Sir, New Cadet Smith reports to the 1st Sergeant of the 1st Basic Training Company for the first time as ordered. Pretty damn good, huh? Nailed that the first time 40 years ago, nailed it tonight. Rob, that's why I wore 6 stripes. You only wore 2. Number 2, standing on the 50-yard line with my co-captain, Kurt Gutierrez, waiting to play in the big game. I remember saying simply, "Go Army." Hey, all right. Let's try that again. Go Army. All right, getting better. All right, one more. Go Army. All right. So you learned very early in your cadet career that rivalries between the academies are fierce. There were 2 Service Academy representatives on the 1985 All-American team, myself and Scott Thomas from the Air Force Academy. There was almost a third, Napoleon McCallum from Navy. Knapp was only beat out by a great Heisman Trophy running back from Auburn named Bo Jackson. So the academies can compete. They can win the big game. Scott intercepted a pass on the opening drive and took it back for a touchdown against Air Force. We never recovered and took a beating the rest of the day. Scott and I roomed together at the All-American Weekend in LA that year, and we got to know each other. He went on to become an F-16 pilot with the call sign Scooter. On February 17, 1991, Scott's plane caught fire after a bombing run over Baghdad. He ejected into hostile territory and had to escape and evade for several hours. Scott was recovered by an Army rescue team, quite possibly one of the guys sitting at that table. John, do you remember ever doing a mission with a little defensive back from Air Force running around the desert away from Iraqis like he was catching the interception and running for a touchdown? Quite possibly. Had we knew it was Scott on the ground, we'd have left him there another couple hours. So fierce competitors on the field, brothers in arms. My brother and sister are here tonight, Scott, Linda. We grew up together, and I love you both. This weekend, you'll actually meet some of the other people that I call my brothers and sisters. I hope you approve of them. I know that they'll approve of you. Number 4, standing at the Saudi border in 1991, waiting to cross the line of departure into Iraq. I remember saying, "That's you, Rob." Let's freaking go! Yeah, all right, let's freaking go. All right. He missed his cue. He's always late. You know how many times he doesn't hand the ball off at the right time, and he ends up getting the shoulder separated on 4th and 1 at Navy. All right. So to win at Army, you have to play every play like it's the biggest thing that you'll ever do, but you can never, ever let it be the biggest thing that you ever do. I spent only 5 years on active duty. General Gilland, a lot of other people here tonight have spent your entire careers in service to our country. You've stepped up to the white line against a number of foes. You stepped up to Russia, Panama, Iraq, Somalia, Afghanistan, and reported to duty when you were called. For that, I am totally humble. You never get to play the home game. You always have to play the away game. So I'd like to get a round of applause for the career soldiers that are here tonight that have defended us for so long. Sir, General Gilland, thank you. Thank you. Number 4, standing at the altar, waiting for my wife to walk down the aisle. All I remember saying is, I do. My wife of 32 years is here with me tonight. We were engaged the night before I left for Desert Storm in 1990. I had my head shaved, had a Screaming Eagle on my shoulder, and my proposal went something like this. Honey, I don't know if I'm coming back from this thing, but if I do you want to get married? And she said, of course. She gets an A for commitment, but I'll give her a D or maybe an F for judgment. So, honey, thank you for 32 years. It's been wonderful. You're our heroes, superhuman patients that listen to all my bullshit stories about how great I was back in the day. And maybe tonight, maybe even a few of them might be true. I don't know. All right. So, number 5, standing in the delivery room, waiting on the birth of my first child. I remember saying simply, it's a boy. My kids are here tonight. Cooper, my oldest, and his fiancée, Michaela. So proud of you, Cooper, the man you've become and the woman that you picked to be your wife. I know I'll always be your 13th man. My middle son, Samuel. He's the 3rd generation of my family to serve in the Army. My father, just after World War II, during the construction with the Marshall Plan. Myself in Europe, in the Middle East. And now, Sam, serving in Korea and heading to Fort Lewis and other assignments still unknown. Sam, I'm proud of you. Godspeed on your adventures as a Night Stalker. My baby girl, Jessie. Smart and fearless as they come. A gentle friend to all of God's creatures, but don't mess with her. Her time on a boat in the middle of the Bering Sea have made her highly skilled with a fillet knife. You 3 are the pride of my life. I love you guys. I never knew how stressful it would be with youth athletics or how difficult it would be in the stands until I watched Mom watching the kids play. It's actually a pretty dangerous place up in the stands. So tonight, I add a 6th, your recognition into the West Point Hall of Fame. To that, all I can say is thank you. All of us up here have received lots of awards, NCAA championships, bowl games, All-American recognition. But I think I speak for all of us when I say that the most precious thing is to be recognized by your peers, to be selected to the all-playground team. That is truly special. Rich said I should talk for 5 or 10 minutes. If I could ask for your patience, I'd like to tell one story. I know this is going to be a little bit longer than I'm supposed to, so Mike, if you really need to stop me, I suggest a good 4-point stance with all of your weight forward. All right? You got to come off low and hard, anticipate the snap count, so you get an advantage, all right? And either way, you're probably going to end up on your back in the end zone with Healy running past you looking for the cameras. So, yeah, it's true. I am related to Elvis. On January 8, 1935, a set of twins were born to the Presley family in Tupelo, Mississippi. On that same day, another set of twins were born to the Smith family in DuBois, Pennsylvania. Both sets of twins struggled in the days after birth. Elvis's twin brother died shortly after birth. My father's twin brother died shortly after birth. Elvis's twin brother was named Jesse. My father's name was Jesse. My father's twin was named, any guess? Nah, it's Joe. Don't anticipate, Gutierrez. That's how penalties happen. I love this place. I love playing the game. I loved the grind of practice, the thrill of game day, and a 4th and 1 situation on the goal line when I knew Doug Black was going to be carrying the football. I loved winning and I hated losing. I endured seasons of failure and seasons of success. But the success was never mine alone. We had a spectacular coaching staff. Jim Young, who taught me how to prepare, and Jim Shuck, who taught me how to block. We had a great team of 11 men on both offense and defense, and great leadership from the senior class. Many of them are here tonight, and I call them my brothers. Unfortunately, others are not, and they know that they are here in spirit. Leighton Drisdale, Wayne Laughlin, Charlie Moses, and recently, our brother, Lloyd Walker. We had the support of the Corps, our 12th man, First Captain Tim Knight, and my fellow regimental commanders, Steve Cannon, Mark Esper, and Al Beninati. But I had an edge nobody really knew about. I had a 13th man on my side. He made a commitment bigger than any of us, and that's why I played as hard as I did. Here's his story. Early in my senior year of high school, my father was diagnosed with cancer. His treatments made him pretty sick, so he had to miss several games. I remember my mom telling me, "Play hard for your dad." So I did. We won our first 3 games that year, lost our 4th, and I remember telling my best friend, "We will never lose again." And we didn't. We finished 9-1 that season. It was a good season. Dad's cancer went away. I came to Army. Mom and Dad traveled most weekends to watch the slaughters at Mizzou, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Pitt, and others. A true engineer, he kept notes on my performance. Scores, penalties, and missed assignments were noted in his book next to the gas mileage for the car in the service schedule for next week. Not much winning those first 2 years. After that 1983 2-9 season and that horrible loss to Navy out in the Rose Bowl, I remember telling Colonel Barry, "We're not losing again." In 1984, we brought Army football back to life. What a ride it was. Beat Navy, bowl victory. I still remember Mom and Dad outside the locker room in Michigan, and I told Dad, "Wait till you see what we do next year." Everything was looking good for that 1985 season. Offense was executing well. The lunatic fringe defense was aggressive, and Stopa couldn't miss on our side of the 50. The week before the opening game, Dad called. Cancer's back. He didn't know how many games he would make, but he would try. I was devastated. I promised myself that I would do anything to make sure that we didn't lose that year. I would push myself, my teammates, the Corps, and anyone else I had to make sure that we were prepared each week. How hard could I work to make sure that the 13th man had something to cheer about on game day? His week went something like this. He would work Monday through Wednesday at his job as an engineer. On Thursday each week, he would take his chemotherapy treatments, which made him violently ill. He would drive with my mom across Ohio, across Pennsylvania, to be close to West Point on game day. Some nights they would sleep in the car, usually parking down by the river courts. I made sure that there were tickets for them at will call, but never knew for sure whether Dad would be well enough to make it. The O-line did his pregame on the left side of the end zone, and so if he made it, Dad would be standing there with a camera taking pictures. I'd shoot him a quick glance to let him know that I was there, and I was ready to play. We were 5-0 going into South Bend to play Notre Dame. We'd outscored our opponents 213-55. I was matched up with Eric Dorsey, a Hall of Fame and a first-round draft pick that year. Both of us were born on August 5th, 1964. Both of us were 6'4". Both of us were 280 pounds. Both of us were playing for powerhouse teams, and both of us were playing at the top of our games. It didn't get any better than that. I knew I had to play this one well. Dad called. He had contracted pneumonia, and the doctor said that if he went to the game, it would probably kill him. He wasn't going to make it. We were going to have to play a man short. It was a rainy day in South Bend. We went out for pregame, and I felt pretty good, but just couldn't shake the news. I glanced at the stands. Saw a big figure wrapped in a blanket and a rain poncho. He was taking pictures. Dad made it. No way we lose today. Dorsey and I went at it for 60 minutes. He would win some, I would win some. It was a great game, but couldn't quite pull it off. Rob, you were in, man. You were in. Had 2 touchdowns called back, sent JY into a rage. That was the difference. Lost 24-10. I let us down. We finished the season strong and played well in Atlanta. It was a good season. Dad's cancer went away. 25 years later, October 2010, many of us were on our way here to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Peach Bowl. Mom called. Dad was sick and in the hospital. Come home now. By the time I arrived, Dad was on a respirator and couldn't speak. His heart was beating at 140 beats per minute. It didn't look good. The doctor said that it was his lungs that were failing and asked about his medical history. Was there a sickness in the past, perhaps pneumonia, that has scarred the lung tissue that they saw on the x-ray? South Bend, October 19th, 1985. Dad died on November 1st. Elvis Presley, Love Me Tender, was playing in the background when he took his last breath. My 13th man was gone. I returned home with my family. There was an unopened message on the answering machine. Can you play that? So his last words to me, how did Army do? And goodbye, son. This is really a pretty stupid game. A bunch of grown men in tight pants, holding hands in a huddle, chasing a ball that never quite bounces right. But it brings people together and creates bonds of incredible power. Players, teammates, coaches, the 12th man, and for me, my father, the 13th man. So thank you for this honor tonight and for making me and my 13th man proud. Mom, I'm sure Dad is up there right now with Elvis and his brothers, cheering and quite possibly taking some really bad pictures. So it's almost time to step up at the white line again. Tomorrow we take on Villanova. Looking for our first win this season, I would give anything for just one more play. So I'm going to get a good night's sleep, eat a good breakfast, put on that Army uniform, and get ready to play. Tomorrow's game day, and the Black Knights of the Hudson are playing to win. So there's only one thing left to do tonight. General, will you join me? Fellow inductees, and the suit. Come on up. All right, ready? Boom! Ah! Youth may rah rah, youth may rah rah, hoorah, hoorah, Army rah, team, team, team. Yeah! Thank you. Thank you very much. Beat Villanova.
Don Smith, great job. What an amazing group of individuals inducted here tonight. Tremendous speech by Don. Before we conclude, wanted to pass along a special thank you. All of our inductees, there's a lot of planning, a lot of coordination that go into this night, not only for them, their families, all the people that support, and everything that we do logistically for this. And the person behind all that, Sydney Griffin. Where's Sydney? Is she in the back corner? Thank you, Sydney Griffin, our Assistant Athletic Director. Great job tying all of this together in its fruition tonight. Just a reminder, when we wrap up, could we get all of the inductees here to the stage area for some photos? Just a reminder, when we end, everyone please come up so we can get some official group photos. At this time, I'd like to close this evening's festivities. Join Sergeant Major Mary Kay Messenger for the singing of the West Point Alma Mater.
Here we go. Hail, Alma Mater, dear, to us be ever near. Help us, I might bear through all the years. Let duty be well performed, honor be e'er untarned, country be ever armed. West Point by thee. Go Army! Beat Navy!
Thank you, Mary Kay. On behalf of the United States Military Academy, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this memorable event. Look forward to see everyone back next year as we induct our 19th class to the Army Sports Hall of Fame. Go Army, beat Villanova. Inductees, please come to the stage area for some official group photos. Have a great night, everyone.